Welcome to a trip through American history, a story of discovery, upheaval, expansion, and development. Let us examine the events and individuals that have molded the United States into the wonderful nation it is today, from Columbus' arrival in 1492 to the present. The first scene bring us to 1492, where Christopher Columbus landed in the New World in 1492 and claimed it for Spain, kicking off European colonialism. Over the next several centuries, an increasing number of Europeans arrived, seeking religious freedom, land, and money. Jamestown, Virginia, became the first permanent English colony in 1600. Cut to 1775, when the American colonies and the British Crown were at their breaking point in the middle of the 18th century. Tensions were high. The Lexington and Concord clashes in 1775 marked the beginning of the American Revolution. The colonies proclaimed their independence in 1776, and the conflict was over by 1783. A federal form of government that is still in place today was established in 1787 with the writing and ratification of the United States Constitution. The nascent country developed during the following several decades, gaining new lands through treaties and conflicts. The Louisiana Purchase increased the nation's size in 1803. However, not all Americans were created equal. The issue of slavery divided the country and ultimately led to the American Civil War. From 1861 to 1865, the Northern States, Union, battled against the Southern States, Confederacy, culminating in the Confederacy's defeat and the abolition of slavery. Cut to 1898. With the Spanish-American War in the late 19th century, the United States became involved in international politics for the first time. This signaled the country's ascension to world power status. The Roaring Twenties of the 1920s brought economic prosperity as well as cultural transformation. However, the 1929 stock market fall signaled the start of the Great Depression, a massive economic downturn. The 1960s civil rights movement resulted in significant changes in American culture and politics, including the repeal of segregation and the enactment of the Voting Rights Act. The moon landing in 1969 was a watershed moment in space exploration. The September 11th terrorist attacks in 2001 altered the direction of American history, resulting in the War on Terror and the 2003 invasion of Iraq. In 2008, Barack Obama was elected as the first African American president of the United States, marking a watershed moment in American history. From 2008 until 2020, the history of the United States depicts an era of substantial development and transformation. Barack Obama's election as the 44th President of the United States constituted a watershed moment in American history, as he became the first African American to hold the position. The Great Recession, which began in 2008 and had a significant impact on the American economy, defined his administration. In response, President Barack Obama signed the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, which provides stimulus cash and helps the economy. During Obama's first term, the U.S. formally withdrew from Iraq, and Osama bin Laden, the head of al-Qaeda, was assassinated in Pakistan by U.S. Navy SEALs. Obama was re-elected in 2012, and the Affordable Care Act, commonly known as Obamacare, was enacted into law in 2010. In 2013, the Supreme Court maintained the ACA's legality. The disclosure of sensitive material regarding government surveillance operations by Edward Snowden prompted a national discussion over privacy and security. The United States launched airstrikes against ISIS in Iraq and Syria in 2014. In the momentous case of Obergefell v. Hodges, the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage nationwide in 2015. That same year, the United States signed the Paris Pact, an international agreement on climate change. Donald Trump was elected President of the United States as the 45th President of the United States in 2016, beating Democratic contender Hillary Clinton. He put his America First plan into action, which included initiatives to stimulate the economy, tighten immigration rules, and increase military expenditures. The Me Too campaign, which received global attention in 2017, raised awareness of workplace sexual harassment and assault. In 2018, the United States and North Korea staged a historic meeting in Singapore, and the Supreme Court affirmed the legitimacy of the travel restriction. In 2019, the United States and China engaged in a trade war, and mass shootings prompted calls for stronger gun control legislation. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic arrived in the United States, causing massive disease and death as well as widespread economic upheaval. The death in police custody of George Floyd, a black man, triggered countrywide protests against police brutality and systematic racism, and the 2020 presidential election was conducted, with Joe Biden beating incumbent President Trump to become the 46th President of the United States. Throughout this time, the United States faced significant challenges and changes that significantly shaped the country's politics, economy, and society. For generations to come, the events of 2008 to 2020 will be studied and remembered. Hit on the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Don't forget to turn on the notification button.